Whoever's here, I'm going to just brighten my screen up so I can see myself. Good evening on this beautiful, fresh Sunday afternoon in Cape Town. Whoever has joined for the live chat, I welcome you. My name is Lisa Jane. If you haven't been here before, I've been away for a while, but please use the live chat, whichever side, because it's always back to front of my screen. You use the live chat just to say hi and to say I'm here, because that would be lovely. Then I know I'm not just speaking to my laptop and camera. I have been away from Cape Town for this past week at my home in Berrydale, which is in the Klein Karoo, which is kind of in the middle or getting towards the middle of nowhere and one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Not that I've been everywhere, but for me, it is a beautiful place. And I'm back now in town. And so I thought it was my responsibility, or rather, I got nudged yet again. Hello, Paula. Is that Paula? I haven't got my glasses on. Yes, Palula. Hello, is that hello in your language? It must be. Hello, Paula. Welcome. Namaste. And so we were inspired, when I say we, me and my guide, to talk about something in particular today, because each of these Sunday series teachings has a certain message to offer. And whilst I get certain guidance, I kind of just do it a bit impromptu because that allows me to remain open to spirit. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a healer and I work with energy in all of its forms. So I see and perceive energy. Hello, thank you. I see and perceive energy in all of its forms, be it with a client that I'm working with, be it that I'm walking on the mountain and connecting with my spirit guides and source, or be it with that I'm chatting to you. So what I received a couple of days ago and what I want to talk to you about today, and please engage with me. Hello, Elizabeth. Yes, I missed you all too. I did have a beautiful time and I managed to send a few messages and connect. So it's lovely to be back actually and connect with you all. Hello, Celeste. Nice to be back. Yes, indeed it is. And what an amazing time we're all going through. And the message today is really, well, I used the title initially, The Space Inbetween, based on a conversation I had with my son a couple of days ago, because my partner drove back to Cape Town and I was nicely stranded in the Karoo for a week without a car. And then my daughter and my sons came up to rescue me and bring me back home. And so we were having a chat on the stoep. And for him, it's been an interesting 2020. I have twin boys and they finished matric last year. And this year was supposed to be an amazing gap year where they spent most of the year traveling. And of course, all they've managed to do is remain locked down in their rooms and in my house in Cape Town, which isn't a bad place to be locked down in, but nonetheless. And so I said to him, 2020 is like the space in between. And where we are getting to now in terms of the middle to the last quarter of the year is that there's a kind of silence that's happening. And maybe not everyone's experiencing this, right? But in my videos, if you've watched them up until now, you will understand or know that I talk a lot about the old earth and the new earth. In the spiritual circles or ascension circles, the new earth is a language or words that I use quite often to indicate that we are in a place of transitioning from one way of being to another way of being. Well, for me, the image of 2020, and of course it's 2020, right, is the space in between where we are getting to choose which world we want to stay in, because the two worlds are separating. And when I say that, I'm just talking about an energetic way of being, a way of working with ourselves and with each other. And those two sides, really, if you like to call it that, and we could label it on a higher level as fear and love, are separating, and we are being asked to choose, and each one of us is part of the recreation of the new. But a lot of people are saying, I'm not receiving messages, I don't feel I'm getting the answers, and they're kind of almost chomping at the bit, try and get the information in. And it was very clear while I was in the Karoo, and yes, I did have a week to myself in solitude, so it was great. But what was very clear to me was now is not the time to go chasing information. We've had this extreme tsunami wave of change up until now. And now we are almost in what I like to call a pause. Now, some of you that may have read Stephen Covey will know that one of his leadership habits was about creating a pause between the action and the reaction. So not only does that pause enable you to stop between what has happened and what is next to happen, but what it is also about is remaining present. Because in that state of presence is where we are going to build. So whilst you might have been letting go of past issues and it's still in process, you might not yet know where you want to go. It's okay, because we're in this like hiatus. And when I say hiatus, it's an energetic hiatus. And what we can use and what is coming to me again and again and has been for a long while as a mechanism to engage with that is connecting with planet Earth. Because in my mind, and according to everything that I work with, if we go along with the belief that energy first, matter second, in other words, it is energy that creates the physical, well, let's look at planet Earth as a living entity, right? That energy to create that material, hello Zoe, to create that material planet Earth was there before Earth materialized. And what we're doing now is working with the energy to materialize another Earth. Come join me anytime, Celeste. And what we are in the space of, and I've spoken about this in previous videos, and I'm trying to communicate as best as I can because we can't know the full details of the universe, right? We will never know. And so let's stop chasing for that information. And my only duty or responsibility is to try and share with you energetically, but also with words, what is actually going on a very amazingly powerful cosmic divine level. Is that we are now working with energy to create the material aspect of our lives going forward. Now, in the past, we have been quite separated from planet, right? And for those of, in the Christian texts or other texts, it's normally the earth was there and then the people were put on top and we came and messed it up a bit. But now what the earth is saying very loud and clear is like, come with me. Come with me and we will create that new world where we are working together. Because if there's anything I do know, and walking a lot in nature since I was a little picky, is that the earth and nature holds an energetic state of coherence. And you will have heard me speak about that before. Coherence is the energy that connects everything. It's the state, the frequency that allows intercommunication between species. And it's that state that we are being asked to work with. So a lot of words like letting go, surrender, allow, accept, right? We can look at all of those words as a way to describe where we are now. But what is happening fundamentally is that, and again, I'm going to give you some visuals that I've got with a number of clients, and I can see it happening, is that the embodiment of the soul is taking place. And again, without getting too complicated, this embodiment process has been happening, well, I've been aware of it since 50? 3 years ago, 2016, 2017, because vibrationally, our bodies have not been ready to accept that frequency of the soul. And now we're getting ready for that. And so there's a beautiful image I want to leave with you, because if you Google and you look, follow other sites, you will also hear things like Christ consciousness or the diamond light matrix, which are all just words, again, that we humans use to describe what is going on an energetic level, because everything is energy and we are just part of that. Is that each person is being given an opportunity to create this energetic light body. And let's visualize a diamond, wherein the frequency is such that the soul can come in and land and connect into the physical body and connect into planet Earth. So for a long time, I've also been saying is that the soul is landing. And, in my energy healing kind of circles, a lot of people would said, my soul is out my body. And I would always say to them, everyone's soul is out their body. At this point in time, it's a high frequency. We've also kind of used the soul as a way to describe something that's really so magnificent that we can't really describe it in one word because it's just so diverse and has so many dimensions. But if I was to give you a visual and I was to say to you, you're in a bit of incubation where a light matrix, let's say diamond at this point in time, is being created by the incoming frequencies to allow you to hunker down into so that you can bring in that highest frequency of your soul, which expands your energetic field that ultimately allows your divine vibrational blueprint to drop in, which is different to the soul. The soul is that energy field that is created around the physical body to allow in your source code, which is again just my small term for something that is so magnificently divine, right? So if we're in the state of pause, anything that allows us to be structured, rigid, if we're grasping for information, if we're shutting ourselves down, is not going to allow that expansion to happen. So I'm going to give you 2 words. And you can use them however you wish. But the words that have been coming to me a lot, and especially while I was away, was soften and melt. Now, about 12 months ago in a meditation, I received an image where basically my physical body was melting into the earth. And it was the earth itself that was coming up and recreating a crystalline body for me. And again, I don't want this to get too out of whack or too weird, but we are being materially reconstructed as much as we are being energetically reconstructed. And the main thing here is that the earth, at this point where we are, is the most powerful energy to work with. Because all of these energies are coming in, right? And if we use the visual again, that the light was coming in, created a light matrix of earth, then the physical manifestation of it happened. Well, now that light, those light codes are coming in, and the physical manifestation is what happens next. So we don't have to do anything about that. It's happening. That's part of this process. The sun is coming in, the light is coming in. And just like the light comes in and a seedling grows, it's a passive act. That seedling receives the light, but it also connects deeply into the earth. One of my favorite people of the past, it's a Catholic connection, but anyway, I went to a convent. But for me, it was a very soul connection, is Saint Teresa of Avila, or Avila, however you want to pronounce it. And I'm sure some of you know her. Now, in a book that was written about her too, and a way of gaining spiritual enlightenment or a path of enlightenment was written by Caroline Myss called The Interior Castle. And again, if you haven't read it or looked at it, please go and Google, because Caroline Myss is one of my favorite spiritual gurus or teachers. And in her transcripts, Saint Teresa of Avila mentions the soul as a diamond. She received the imagery of a diamond. And while working with clients over the last few weeks and months, I have received that a lot. And it connects in quite nicely and ties in with the fact that this diamond light frequency is really offering a portal, a holder, a container for our soul frequency to fully come in. And I'm not going to talk about the soul expression and the source code and vibrational blueprint. I am going to at some point, but it's more than just letting your soul land. The soul is just that which holds memories and, past information and knowledge, and that itself needs healing. So not only does our body need healing, the soul needs healing. Indeed, Celeste, it is all about energy. And so in the soul needing healing, that's what's happening now, right? People are crying a lot more. The divine has come in, has opened this energetic center of the heart, allowing in more light. It's like suddenly, see those images. I mean, no wonder also, Jesus Christ was shown with a sacred heart, because it's the light coming in. Energetically, this is an important center now to move on from. So the energetic light comes in, the heart awakens, and then we can start looking at the healing of the soul, because that light shines so brightly on all aspects of us that we cannot not look at the healing of the soul. So in this space now, the space in between the old and the new, the space that we have been offered that is 2020. And we're in July on Wednesday, right? I mean, God, who would have thought? It's July on Wednesday, the 7th month of a 12-month year. And the majority of us have been in lockdown for a good few months. We are in incubation. We are being asked to really consider the spiritual or energetic or vibrationary, whatever you want to call it, aspect of ourselves, so that we can fully begin to work with it in a way that helps us begin to understand. Because that's also the thing, right? I was blessed enough to go for a long walk on the mountain this morning. It started raining at the beginning, but it was beautiful. And while I was walking, I was also connecting and saying, please help me speak some truth today. And again, the truth changes, right? As we learn more, as we experience more, as we expand more. So I hope you'll forgive me if my truth expands and changes. There's fundamental beliefs that I hold that I don't think will change, but just the understanding. And then again, I was shown actually we can't understand everything. And where we are right now, it's not about chasing that with your mind. It's not about grasping onto something. It's not about seeking something. It's not about begging spirit to give you an answer. Please confirm. Please give me an answer. Now is about quiet. It's about incubation. It's about the pause between the action of change that is happening and the reaction that is going to happen after that. And this 2020 is the most beautiful incubation space. And again, I'm sending my love and compassion to all of those that have been negatively affected by the changes. I do not mean to undermine that. But on a higher energetic level, 2020 is the space in between for us to become more and more present. And if we're present, we don't hold regret, we don't hold resentment, we don't hold questions about where we're going to, because we trust that in the present moment, all the power that we need is there. And so again, symbolically, from an energetic point of view, when you can practice being in the present, you actually create such a strong force field, because you're creating this vortex, and I've spoken about that before, the golden spiral, the vortex of energy where you really start pulling it in. It's like you create this magnetic center that starts to pull in any energetic tendrils that are anywhere else. And as you create this vortex, you also reflect out a force field. A lot of people ask me, how do I protect myself energetically? And I'm like, be present. Because if you're present and working coherently from the heart center, you have a powerful force field around you that nothing can come near. Trust in that. And so this presence is really, think of it as you've got this diamond, this beautiful light framework matrix that's implanting itself in the earth. And from a practical perspective, walk the earth, lie on the earth, touch the earth, connect with the earth, melt with the earth. Because what allows you to do is bring in that diamond light matrix energetically and really sink in. It's like your pupa has landed, the cocoon. And I spoke about that while I was in Barrydale, is that essence of being, hanging in midair in a cocoon of light. Well, the next couple of months is about grounding. And more than the terminology grounding we all know about, put your roots down. It's not that I'm talking about. It's if you had to close your eyes now, maybe you want to do it as a visual meditation while I'm talking. And if you had to just imagine that you're sitting here, you'll close your eyes, and you just feel the weight of your body on the earth. And as you do, you imagine the melting of that. Because our body is one with the earth, right? Our body is made of carbon. Well, at this point, we're moving to crystalline, but anyway. And as you melt, you connect with the earth in a way that you know that this body is part of that. And as you melt, as you imagine, then you add that element that I spoke of earlier of softness. The element of just being soft. Because if you can imagine, if you can feel soft, then you're doing everything around allowing, accepting, surrendering. Because while there has been work that needed to be done, and you may have done past life clearing, regression healing, and we all need healing. I have my own healer I work with. When I feel something coming up that is too heated for me or I can't connect with it, I will work with someone else. And if you haven't worked with a healer, think of working with a healer. Because often someone who can see and feel your energy can offer you insights that you may not have found or connected with in your mental state. But that concept, and maybe I'm going to record a meditation. If you want a meditation, just say yes. Maybe I'll record something. With the breathing, connecting with coherent, with the melting into the earth, because remember, we're in the pause, we're in the space in between. We need to be present. And then the softness, you really are enabling an energetic state that is a powerful container for your soul. And the concept of choice and responsibility, all that comes into it, but that's not what I was guided to talk to you about today. Because I'm a curious person. I'm fairly analytical. I was in IT for 24 years. I think a lot. I'm curious, but more and more, it's really about actually, Lisa, you know what? You're an energy healer. You speak about energy. What is that about? Okay, Paul, I'll record one. The link to my Spotify channel is always underneath the video, so go and check there. I won't upload it today, but by the middle of next week, I will commit to giving you a meditation on that because it feels like the diamond light is something I need to work with. Where was I now? I can't remember. Anyway, it's probably not important. Oh, energy. And they were like, but you can never actually understand the full workings of the universe. Okay, Clara, great. I will do that for all of you. We can chase and we can be excited by it and we can want to understand, absolutely. But we have to accept that we're not going to be able to fit all the pieces together. And that where we are now in this space, it's more about just, wow, just being. A big change for me was when I moved from a human doing to a human being. I called it rumblings of the heart. I was in corporate, I was working full days, I was traveling all over the country, and I had 3 children under the age of 2. Pretty hectic. Anyway, it challenged me to become, to realize a place that actually I needed to be, which was just be. Just practice mindfulness, practice being present, because that's all we have right now. Right? So if you're listening to social media, if you're watching the news, it can suck you in. And I'm not saying be an ostrich and put your head in, but really work with your energetic field, your energetic presence in a way that when someone comes near you, they can feel that. And I'm hoping too that irregardless of my words, you can feel the energy I'm trying to present to you, because everything is energy. So in my YouTube videos, I tune in beforehand, I meditate beforehand, just to present the energy to you so that you understand it's really about just that energetic presence of today, softness, of melting, and of being so present that you create this strong vortex of golden, white, whatever light comes to you right now, energy that is in your field and holds everything. And there's many writers out there, the Eckhart Tolles and I don't know, he's probably the most prevalent one at the moment. Caroline Myss is speaking a lot about this, and other teachers, Marion Williamson. But they're all saying the same thing. Everyone's saying the same thing, or for the most part anyway, is drop the conspiracy theories, drop the chasing, drop the need to know the answers, and just practice being present. When you brush your teeth, just brush your teeth. And I know this sounds ridiculously simple, but actually it is. Because every small moment that you use to bring the awareness in, you are working with your energy in a way that you're spiraling that cord in. It's like you're creating this magnetic presence that is like a fishing reel that just winds it back in. When you're eating, don't read the newspaper, don't text on your phone. You know how often that happens, right? Especially with my teenagers eating their phones off. Be present to eating. Be present to the people you're talking to. I need to be present here. Okay, Elizabeth, I'm glad the message resonates. Yes, because there are so many people saying, I need to know, let me understand what's going on. And the big message from the Kuru and my beautiful guides and source, God, was be still. There I'm reminded of that saying, be still and know that I am God. That's us, right? Yes, there's a divine creative force at play here. But what is this? This is a container for the divine creator source. Be still and know that I am God. And it's not blasphemous to say that, because God is a word that has kind of been misused, right? But we are of the nature of God. We are the representation of God. If you see God as a creative divine force that makes worlds, just as the planet holds that energy, we are connected to the planet in this carbon-based body. We are part of it. And so as we are part of it, we are conduits for the creative flow. And so whilst I'm not saying don't do your own work in healing, if you get intuitively nudged to do that, go ahead and nudge. Go ahead and do it. Not nudge someone else maybe, but go ahead and do it. But for the most part now, and I would say, I'm just asking a question while I'm working with you. I would say this is July, August, September, October. Because right now, I'm not getting the sense that anything has shifted yet. It's in the process. And in this incubation process, you need to treat yourself gently. You need to treat others gently. And you need to be soft and melt. And do whatever it takes to be still in the knowledge that you are just this connector between source, divine energies coming in, however you want to call them, and the earth that is changing. And you are just this little conduit. Yes, you're living a life and you're entertaining yourself by doing all the things you do, but at the biggest, in the biggest way, you are here to anchor that divine frequency. And if you really want to do that, then be present and melt into the earth whenever you can. And now I'm getting an indication that I've probably said what I need to say. Because no words really can describe that, right? So stop chasing. Stop overthinking. Stop asking questions, because it's also like it's quiet up there at the moment, right? They're off duty. Not really off duty, but you know what I mean. They're waiting for us to get ready It's like, okay, are they going to get ready? Because there's going to be more coming in, and there is going to be change, and there is going to be this huge impulse, these huge drives, these huge makeovers, these huge transformations. But in the meantime, it's like we need to line ourselves up. We need to prepare our physical channel, and we need to just line ourselves up and anchor and hunker in. And we do that by being soft, by melting with the earth, and just being a receptor. And working with our state of presence to create this magnetic field that is this force field. And you can call it love. I think us humans don't know what love actually means, but let's call it love, which is a present energy of gentleness, of kindness, of compassion, of non-judgment. And so maybe if there's someone around you or a circumstance that gets, triggers you, riled up, look at it and just say, actually, you know what? Let me step back and let me soften. Let me soften into the space and see what that feels for you. Because that softening is going to be different for each one of you. But what I can say is that in order to hold that softness when you're around people and in a busy state, is that you need then to actually go into silence, to go into solitude, to walk on the mountain, to connect with the land, to stare out at the trees, to really take time in nature. So I think I've said all I need to. I hope what I've said has been beneficial. And I'm deeply grateful, as always, that you all take the time to listen to me, because there is still this humble element that is, what do I know? How can I teach? Which is why the white rose came to me as a symbol that it's not me teaching, it's my soul and all of its experiences, which has been numerous, and that it doesn't really necessarily matter. It's the heart. It's my heart's wisdom and my connection to spirit that I hope actually offers you some benefit. Yeah. I love that diamond, Celeste. Yes. Think about the diamonds. And if you think about, because we're moving too from the diamond to the circle, and we'll talk about that another day. But think about how the diamond fits into another diamond. If you had to draw on paper, right? The diamond and another diamond and another diamond, they all fit together. So we're in the process of doing that, and then we're going to move to a circular way of being, which is the spiritual heart. So for now, any meditation you do around that, but I will create one. And with that, I'm deeply grateful for your presence. I send love to all of you from my heart to yours. And I am definitely, when things open up, thinking of doing a retreat in Barrydale, because there's beautiful mountains to walk. I'm having a fire pit built so we can sit around the fire and stare at the stars. We can have a drumming journey, meditation, in fact, anything, but just in the Karoo, because it's powerful, energetic, healing ley lines there. So I'm definitely thinking of doing that. And I will let you know when I decide on the dates, when things open up. But if there's anything else you want to ask me, please send me an email. Please connect with my social media. Spotify links, everything is down here. Hello, Shivanon. Thank you so much for joining. And I really, you are always in my thoughts and prayers. And when I meditate, I kind of bring you all in anyway and offer you healing. So I thank you for being part of this group. Each one of your energy is meant to be here, and we all benefit from it. Yes. So I send you love. Have a beautiful rest of Sunday. As always, I'm off to go and feed the hungry starvings. Kaylee, I've been thinking about you too. Take care and connect with me in whatever way you feel you need to. Have a blessed Sunday and a beautiful week ahead, and we will chat again. Bye for now.